sometimes I think it just sucks.
I tend to think that life has its own good moments.
To better understand the outer world, we have to realize that in each of us is another world, the inner world, that's just as infinite as the outer world. This world directly accessible through our dreams. By becoming lucid in this world, we get to explore it and learn more about ourselves. It's often in the moments of lucidity that we become most alive. Think about our younger years, that time of our lives when we were young, wild and free. No prior perceptions blocking our virginal gaze from seeing the beauty and magic all around us. Collins, do you remember your first lucid dream? How did it feel like?
Free, like I could do anything, nothing holding me back, you know? Flying was amazing.
Interesting.
And through lucidity, the line between the dream world and the waking world starts to blur, providing avenues for the mind to interact with the subconscious consciously, opening up to infinite imagination, breaking us free from the mental constraints and conditionings that keep us away from truly living and experiencing the truth. That this place we seem to just appear in is magic, that we are all magic. We spend roughly a third of our lives asleep. That translates to around 25 years, and that's if we live to be around age. Think about it, 25 years asleep. I'll be hitting 30 soon, so trust me, I get it. What can we do to make most use of this time? Well, we all have our nighttime dreams, the complicated and mysterious function we experience every night when we sleep. I know some of you are thinking, I don't dream. You just don't remember, and that's something you can learn to improve. Typically, when we dream, we do not know that the dream is not real. We wake up in the morning and we realize, thank God it was a dream. That's mostly for the nightmares. I'd like to introduce you to a phenomenon called lucid dreaming. The ancient philosopher Aristotle long ago wrote in his treatise on dreams that often in our sleep there's something in our consciousness that tells us that what we are experiencing is only a dream. Most people, when they realize they are dreaming, tend to wake themselves up, leaving the dream world behind. But there's a better and more productive way. Imagine this. You're at home with family, enjoying the time together, feeling all good. Suddenly, you hear a very loud bang on the door. Panic ensues as something is trying to break down the door, and you look for somewhere to hide, running for your life. The door is broken down, and a scary monster with a strong physique comes in, killing the panicked family members in its way as they scream. This all happens very fast. You have not yet found a hiding place as the monster approaches, and there you are, cringed in a corner. It picks you up, ready to devour you. Suddenly, something in your mind clicks, and you realize you're dreaming. What do you do now? Force yourself to wake up? Do not leave just yet. Realize you're in your own mindscape, and nothing here can hurt you if you do not allow it. You face the monster, you fight back and destroy the monster if you wish. Snap back your family to life. Go outside with this new sense of freedom. You marvel in the hyperrealism of the dreamscape, feeling its solidity. The dreamer then decides to go about fulfilling their wildest fantasies, as they also can control the environment, all while being in control of themselves. Ever wondered how the birds feel when they are in the sky? You jump up and fly. There's no gravity holding you back as you feel the wind breeze hit your face as you soar up in the sky. Want to travel the universe? Shoot off into space, journeying in between stars and galaxies, going through wormholes. In this world, your imagination is the limit. I know to some all this sounds unreal, but it's scientifically proven. I'd like us to go much deeper into the rabbit hole, far from the use of this kind of dreams in fantasy fulfillment. This is the story I want to tell, and the story begins with a journey to a far-off land, a visit to the masters of dream and sleep in the East. If I was in a dream right now, all that would have been needed was a portal for us to jump right in to reach the other side. For now, fasten your seatbelts and prepare your minds for takeoff. Destination, Tibet. On the lofty Tibetan plateau on the northern side of the Himalayas, we find the roof of the world, or the top of the world, as it's famously referred to, Tibet, a mainly Buddhist territory. Across the beautiful, charming landscapes of this region, we find Tibetan monasteries, which house the Tibetan monks. These Tibetan monks practice lucid dreaming as a way to become self-aware in both dreaming and waking life. This tradition is referred to as dream yoga, a meditation technique that instructs dreamers to recognize the dream, overcome their fears, then shape or control the context that present themselves in their field of awareness, inside the dream. They maintain that instead of falling asleep each night, we can use this time to practice waking up, as they believe we spend most of our days sleepwalking through life. For these Buddhists, lucid dreaming is a prerequisite for enlightenment, their ultimate goal. Most of us have probably heard of the word enlightenment. What does it mean to be enlightened? According to the Buddhists, it's when a person finds the truth about life and stops the cycle of rebirth because they have reached nirvana. It's what ancient texts say happened to their central figure, the Buddha, or the awakened one. Generally, it's a time for those who are awake and have achieved Buddhahood. What is it that Buddhas wake up from, and what do they awaken to? So, what myth are you living? What narrative are you embedded in? What is the story of your life? What timeline are you treading on? Then comes the existential question, who am I? That emptiness, alienated from our souls, we search for meaning. Lost in the darkness of mere being, we seek the light. Lost in thoughts, we forgot the truth of our innermost being. Here we are thinking we are fully in control of our minds, when in reality it's the programs in our subconscious mind that have a hold on us. We are just puppets. This is the question that the concept of enlightenment is trying to answer. Who we are at the deepest level, much deeper than quantums or atoms, much deeper than the ramblings of our personalities, much deeper than the societal ills. This is what we must awaken to. Back to dream yoga. Dreams are used as part of their psychological healing process, where they learn to recognize their fears, wounds, weaknesses, depressions, and conflicts. Through lucid dreaming, they can then come face to face with the embodiments of unhealed parts of themselves, and they can transform them. We all have those days where we feel we are trapped and cornered, like we are stuck in a routine, living the same story over and over. They've been there and done that. Then comes our worst days, those ones that we feel like we are living a nightmare. The purpose of these practices is to integrate lucidity and flexibility with every moment of our lives, and to let go of the heavily conditioned way we have of ordering reality, of making meaning, of being trapped in delusions. In waking life, we have access to the objective reality. In dreaming, we have access to our inner world, the world of our inner psychology. These images that our mind renders at night as we sleep can be translated to represent our moods, our feelings in waking life. For example, a dream, for example, a nightmare where you're being chased by this monster and you're running for your life and bringing up feelings. So this is a representation of an anxiety within you. So the dreaming mind conjures up some images and renders this into a drama that you get to experience in your sleeping state. This shows you the truth of what's going on within you. Through awareness and lucidity in your dreams, you can learn the meaning of these images and learn to transform them into positives, transforming these feelings from one state to another, all from the depths of the unconscious. Are you trapped by any fears? Are you being chased by a monster in your dreams, running away from something? Are you aware how this monster in your dream is an embodiment of your fears and not a real demon? That your fears are actually producing it? Do you know that you can face it, transform it, and transcend these feelings for the better? Welcome to the world of lucid dreaming and dream yoga. You see, one of the most important questions you can ask is, What story are you living? Who wrote it? Is it true? Is it one that empowers you, or is it one that plunges you deep into the darkness of depression? Are you aware that you can change it? Just as you can become aware of a dramatization of a thought pattern inside a dream and consciously change it, so can you become aware of a negative myth you're embedded in and change it for the better. You can tell yourself a more empowering story. You can trigger inner changes that change your life for the better. If you are trapped in a world, a certain way of thinking, you can free yourself of this world and learn to create a new dream, to dream a new dream. You can learn to fall in love with life again.
So, this thing called the lucid dream, what is it?
Lucid dream is a dream in which the dreamer, you, knows that they are dreaming while you are still in the dream. To put it into perspective, in a normal dream, you are caught up in a drama produced by your own mind. You are totally enchanted by the story you find yourself in and you think it's real, and it's when you wake up in your bed in the morning that you realize that you are just dreaming. A lucid dream, on the other hand, you are in a dream, then you notice something off that triggers your lucidity. It hits you that you are inside a dream and you are aware that what you call your real body is in bed asleep. Now most people get to this point and as soon as they realize they are dreaming, force themselves to wake up. I'd encourage you to go about exploring the dream and attempt impossible feats. You have access to your own realm where you can do absolutely anything, and it all feels as real as the world you have left behind. You can see, touch, smell, taste, and hear all that is in front of you. The only difference is the malleability of the laws of physics. If you believe you can fly, you can take a leap and fly. In the dream world, you're only limited by your imagination, and the only walls are those of your expectations. Expectations brought about by what you believe. If you think and believe you can't do something, you can't do it. If you believe you can, then you will.
Sounds scary.
Ultimately, you discover that there is nothing to be fundamentally afraid of in the world of dreams. What seems scary is being fed and empowered by your own fears. You are in a world created by your own mind. Everything you perceive is an embodiment of what's going on in your mind. So the scary monster is your fears. Why should you be afraid of yourself? When you learn to let go of your fears, you can advance more in this practice. Something else about fears. Its function is to keep us safe, alert us of possible risks, hence sparing us from physical, emotional, and mental pain. Like an alarm system, its only goal is to protect, so unfortunately, it does not notice when it's keeping out something good. Lucid dreaming can be said to be akin to being aware of your thoughts and developing the ability to change their course, to be aware that they are the script to the movie of your life. You have to be aware of the mechanics that manifest your thoughts into reality. Anything that you are thinking at any given time, it's part of your narrative. And to change a narrative, you have to be very aware of the thoughts that you're thinking at any time. When you catch a negative thought, you can practice something that in psychology is called autosuggestion. You can catch the thought that you don't want, substitute it with a new thought, and go on with your life. This is the rewriting and substituting of memory. You take a bad memory and substitute it with a new memory. The unconscious will automatically nudge us in the direction of the new thought pattern.
Is this something that everyone is capable of? Having lucid dreams?
Yes, lucid dreaming is a very learnable skill. A lot of people have taught themselves from scratch and now can do it very frequently. You just have to find the right methodology that works for you, as we are all different. What works easily for one person may not be what works well for another. The important thing with this practice is to keep going until you find what works well with your identity. So don't give up till you hit the target. Believe.
Is lucid dreaming the same as dream control?
A lucid dream, by definition, is being aware that you are dreaming. You don't necessarily have control. Control is an extra that you can practice and get very good at. Shaping the dream world by will. You can have control even in a normal dream.
Why have lucid dreams? What are its benefits?
For entertainment, think of a lucid dream as a playground, a magical playground. Here you are in your own world. You can go further, think of yourself as a god in this reality. Think of all the things you have ever wanted to do. The impossible stuff you see in science fiction films. Want to go to space? Just shoot upwards and enjoy the galactic view. Want to time travel or teleport within the lucid dream? Just think about it and it's done. You just appeared in a new location by thought alone. Some crazy sex with a celebrity you've been crashing on? Just manifest them. Sex in a lucid dream is very hyper real. This kind of adventure dreams can also be therapeutic as the effect lasts far long after you wake up. You become happier. You find the joy in things when you wake up. What used to seem ordinary comes alive. This is brought about by the sense of realness inside the lucid dream. The way you can touch things and feel their solidity calls into question what's real. You start to think, if I could experience such a rich world in my lucid dream last night, then how do I know that this life I'm living now is not a dream? You gain a greater sense of self-confidence and awareness. For people plagued by nightmares, PTSD and depression, gaining control of one's dream life can make sleep more restful as they learn to overcome their traumas and nightmares. You can learn to become lucid in your dream and face personifications of your traumas, and you can resolve them. By facing your nightmares, you lose fear, and by losing fear, the nightmare loses its grip on you. You become free from it in waking life. Creativity. Using the platform of a lucid dream, you can have access to levels of mind that in the waking state are often inaccessible. While dreaming, we are at the depths of the unconscious. We have direct access to the infinite creativity of the unconscious mind. Want to view art not seen before? Just ask for it and it appears. Music? Hear new melodies produced in the depths of the unconscious. Composers like Beethoven, inventors like Einstein and Tesla, artists like Salvador Dali, as well as other painters, musicians, writers, and scientists created their works from lucid dreaming. As you drift off to sleep, you can think about a challenging problem you need a solution to, and the answer may appear in a dream or lucid dream. Studies have found physical differences in the brains of people who do and don't have lucid dreams. The front part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the site for high-level tasks like making decisions and recalling memories, is bigger in people who have lucid dreams. This suggests the lucid dreamer is more self-reflective. You can feel the effect of a good lucid dream long after you wake up. It makes you question reality, the mechanics of it all, curious about how it all works. You can begin to create change as your ego personality dissolves. You begin to see the playfulness of life as a child does. The ordinary seems magical. You become more confident in your abilities, knowing you are riding at the back of a vast power that can bring your dreams and creativity goals into reality if you fully trust it. You begin to understand, just as in a dream all that you see are projections of your own mind, so it's all that you see around you in your life. Ultimately, you are not something outside creation, but you are an important part of it. It is all one system. Here you understand non-duality.
So, how can one have this experience of being fully aware and conscious in their dreams?
There are plenty of resources online that teach effective lucid dreaming induction techniques that can help you take control of your dreams. There is the practice of good sleep hygiene, the use of dream journals to aid in dream recall, developing a reality testing technique whose goal is to increase metacognition. As you study and delve deep into this and more practices, the most important lesson you can learn is the art of meditation, finding that stillness deep within. Strong conceptual and theoretical connections have been made between meditation practice, mindfulness, and lucid dreaming. The more mindful you are, the more aware you become of what is happening in your mind, in your field of awareness. You become more aware of your thoughts and reactions. This is an increase in self-awareness. The more aware you are in your waking life, the more aware you are in your dreams. Lucidity at night has been found to be more profound in people who meditate regularly. We should learn to live our lives more consciously, aware of our thoughts each passing moment, enjoying each moment fully, just as one does when they become lucid in a dream, where everything in the dream begets a life of its own, where the ordinary becomes magical, where sensations like touch, like smell are astonishing. This is reigniting the awe in our lives, where everything comes alive, where even the seemingly small things, when we realize that they make up the big things, and as a whole they constitute as one.
A common problem I have is waking up as soon as I become lucid. How can I prevent waking up as soon as I become conscious in the dream?
Stay calm. When you get lucid and get very excited, the adrenaline rush jolts you awake. Don't rush. You can start small and grow upon it. Rub your hands together as you enjoy the view to stabilize your dream. You can use auto-suggestions inside the dream. Ask for what you want. For example, you can tell the dream, "Stability now," and you may find the dream conforming to the commands as your dream snaps into greater focus. You have to want it and yearn for it, as words alone can be ineffective. Go fully for what you want in feeling and desire. Stay focused on your goal inside the lucid dream, in a detached sense, a balance, so you don't get too excited. A simple hack is confidence. This is most useful when you have a dream goal and you use your mind to shape the unfolding events. The dream lasts longer as your confidence grows. The most important thing here is not to give up when you fail. Keep trying until you succeed. A philosopher once said, "Our truest life is when we are in dreams awake." We spend most of our life just going through it as victims, reacting to external stimuli. We row our boats against life's current, tugging at the paddles, struggling and sweating, anxious that at any moment something bad will happen. We capsize and drown, making this dream of life a nightmare that we are lost in. Unaware we are dreaming. To know that we are dreaming, to be awake in the dream of life, is part of enlightenment. Just as we wake up in the morning and we say to ourselves, "It was all just a dream," looking back at how profoundly we were deceived while we slept, wholly betrayed by our minds, taking imagination for reality. So why would you want to sleep through your life too? Maybe things are not what they appear to be. Take control of your life. Stop blindly following or subscribing to societal expectations of how you should live and act, denying yourself the chance to love and play with childlike wonder. Jump into the unknown. Leap to a place you've never been before. And with godlike composure, hop onto the adventure and play of life. Deeply involved, but with an element of freedom that prevents you from being constrained by the play. This is what lucid dreaming is about. Dreaming and knowing very well that you're dreaming and still enjoying the drama. And no matter the weather, you know that any circumstance can be changed. Look at the sky, the heavens, this world we seem to appear in, found ourselves in. We are all just characters playing in it. All the world's a stage, and the men and women merely players, Shakespeare said. So think about it for a moment. What's life?
Well, a dream?
Exactly. It's nothing but a dream. It's the prime dream.
So, how do we become lucid in it? How do we learn to fly?
By realizing who we are in our own life. It's the fundamental question everyone has to figure out for themselves. Who are you? Then by letting go of our prior fears and conditionings, we take a leap and pursue our wildest dreams. Because we create this dream, each of us, it flows from within our mind to the screen of space. We become aware and take charge of our own destiny, an illumined path into the greater and more perfect existence. So here you are in your own mindscape, and this organic movie is unfolding in your thoughts, in your mind, and here you are living it as if it's real, and you're totally enchanted by the story. And this is the power of our minds, and to render images and create narratives from our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. And trouble comes when we dream from a place of excess fear, a reflection of the turbulent storms, these psychic conflicts that dwell within us, these unhealthy and negative thought patterns that have a negative effect on our lives. These are the demons that we are grappling with. We are all in this magical ride we call life together, and to dream is to journey through life, and to be aware of our innermost life is to journey consciously. What goes on in our minds during sleep and dreaming does influence what goes on in our minds. The goal now becomes learning to translate the dreams so we can actively change these images while we dream, not only while lucid, but by using such procedures as dream incubation so we can learn how to have specific dreams. We can preview our progress by writing down our dreams and noticing their evolution with time. A little change here will create a butterfly effect on the following dreams and ultimately in our lives. Think of a dream as a theater, a stage for the playing out of our thoughts, our complexes, a reflection of our personality systems, our shadows, those parts we are unaware of, our whole psychology. These dream images that our minds conjures up when we sleep, they can be decoded to better understand our inner life. It's our inner world. When you find yourself stuck in a nightmare, you can learn to wake up within the dream, and with this new awareness you can let go of your fears, face the source of your fears. What is this that you're running from causing all the anxiety in your life? Then you can learn to overcome this fear. We become aware of our internal psychic conflicts between our id, our ego, and superego. We become free of these states of fear, this hell of conflicts such as excessive anxiety. Now we can begin to draw new pathways, new timelines to experience, and in doing this, we can transform our minds and our lives from within the dreamscape. We can free ourselves from unwanted past patterns. Becoming lucid reveals that you are the ultimate dream and the dreamer, and not just the dreamt. You are much more than your personality. We gain sovereignty in our own internal kingdoms. We take charge of our own destiny. A disconnect from the past, we can create a new future, interrupting habits and patterns that no longer serve us. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung said that dreams prepare us for the events of the following day. So we should take this chance to make the most use of these dreams. Sleep and dreams have much more to do with shaping our lives than we currently imagine. Before we create these changes, we have to be aware of our deeper selves, the self. We disconnect from the current drama of our thoughts, and we find out we are much more than our personalities. We must discover that still silent awareness within our home. Fall in love with this emptiness. It's not so scary after all, which in its fullest power can't contain anything. In this stage, we can easily learn to control what can be contained within ourselves, and we can start making those changes without much resistance. Start by tweaking the small habits, the atomic habits, then let it seep into bigger things in your life. Have faith in the journey. See where it leads you.